5 Seconds of Silence is like a bad mashup between 5 Seconds of Summer and Suicide Silence.
You have cool followers.
I know, right?
They're cool
great.
People. Hey, you guys are cool people. The people that showed up for the...
Love you guys.
What are these called?
Live streams.
Live stream! I did it.
You guys are great. We love you.
Yes.
Alright, so, what do you want to talk about first?
Let's
do you
talk
want to
about...
get through the comic first, while I still remember it?
Yes. Let's get through the comic. After the comic, everybody, we're
We'll
going to talk
about my convention. And my experience this time around.
Yeah, the convention, what happened, because I haven't gotten a chance to talk to Camille about it. I'm sure you guys haven't had a... Wow, professional to the end.
Always.
Well, if you guys have listened to other episodes of the podcast...
Hello! We are recording for our podcast, for our newest one that will be out later this week. So we figured we'd do a live stream for you guys while we were here.
Yeah. I'm just so proud of you for having
this
the courage.
This is my co-host, Brent Spooks.
Hi, I'm Brent Spooks. I make webcomics. I'm actually working on getting the webcomic complete for the first 20 pages. Hey Roz, what's up, buddy? You're a cool person. I've talked to you once. Right now I'm working on a webcomic because I love comic books and I love drawing and I have a story to tell.
It's not graded yet, but he'll get there.
It has not launched yet. It has not launched yet. I can't send you the link because I'm getting 20 pages finished before I launch page 1 so that if I get sick or I go on vacation or for some reason I can't make a page, I can still update.
Oh, it's my little Tumblr follower. Another weird name is my Tumblr follower. From, Scotland? Right? From Scotland? I hate Scotland.
Another weird name. You're from Scotland, yeah?
I think it's Scotland. Right?
Hurry up.
Ross,
hey, wait, we're recording a podcast right now. We have to talk about comic books.
Yeah! Izzy!
I'm
Hi,
having so
Izzy!
much fun talking with your friends.
Okay,
I'll eat pizza however you like. Hey! Lesbianism. Great. Fantastic. I love it. It's the best.
Anyway, we read,
The Uncanny X-Men 201 Duel. That was really good.
That was a good high five, considering last time we sucked.
Yeah, we never do good high fives.
So, I actually had a really hard time reading this comic. It was very hard for me to focus on, but I've also never read an X-Men comic, so this is my first one, so it probably wasn't the best one to start with.
Yeah.
At all. Totally rehearsed, yeah.
Yes, this podcast is written by me, it's produced by me, everything you know is a lie, none of the content you consume is original, and there is no God.
Disclaimer, it's all original, but there is still no God. Anyway.
He loves you. His name is Jesus.
He doesn't love me, I promise.
He loves you. Anyways, we read comics.
Anyway, I had a really hard time focusing on this comic because I have never read a X-Men comic before. I've only seen the movie, so it's the only background I had going into this, so I guess I would take the perspective of a noob for this one. But it was really hard to read. The context and the speech is hard.
Yeah.
But the, speech bubbles are laid out weird. I found myself trying to read it right to left as opposed to left to right.
Yeah, the speech bubble layout is not conducive to easy reading.
Because, I read a lot more comics than I read manga, so it's very weird for my brain to try and switch them.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was weird.
Well, one of the big things that I have to be careful with, and everyone has to be careful with when making a comic book, is the guy who actually made Dragon Ball is a master of this. When you want the panels to be laid out in a way that leads the eye around the comic in a natural way.
This one is not laid out in that way.
No, it wasn't.
In any way.
And that's one of the major problems with comic books from the 60s and 70s. These kind of Silver Age comic books. The art style I actually really adore. I really adore the art style of 60s and 70s comic books.
I can't get you guys to find it. Here. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Speech bubbles are really weird.
And there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of talking in this comic.
Yeah.
And,
you promised jungle juice. What?
Yeah, Izzy was supposed to make us jungle juice for the con. He's supposed to make everybody jungle juice.
And
he didn't because he didn't have the funds.
Oh, that's understandable.
Ahead of time, so we wanted to get funds from people at the con.
Let me make sure my screen didn't just black out on it didn't just stop recording, because if it did, I'm gonna kill myself. Nope, it didn't stop recording. Hell yeah. Okay, cool. I don't have to worry about that. And people never got money to me.
Yeah, Izzy wanted to make jungle juice for everyone. It was supposed to keep it in our hotel room because he didn't have room when we were closer.
Izzy, how much money do you need to make jungle juice?
I think he said $145.
That's a lot of money for
drinks.
drinks.
But he needed $5 per person.
That's not too bad.
No, it's just everyone at cons gets super busy, so like he never heard back or got to meet up with most people to give money to make the jungle juice. So
yeah, chug chug chug. That's right. Make me visible in the frame. What does that make now? 5 shots? Yeah, that's my 5th shot of whiskey.
You should hold back on that.
No, I love whiskey. It's so good.
You should drink some water.
I'm like 5. What is jungle juice? Yoro-chan, leave! Leave this now! Run away! You're too young! No! Corruption of the youth!
Oh God, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't. I can see it in your eyes. You want to.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Good.
Talking about comic books.
Yeah, we are. So, what did you think about X-Men Uncanny, since you actually have experience with X-Men comics?
Well, X-Men, the Uncanny X-Men 201, I'm not ageist.
What the hell is ageist?
It means you're, like, racist against old people and young people. You're prejudiced against, like, age. I don't get it either.
What?
The point is... 1 second. Okay. X-Men 201 is a really good place to start off with the Uncanny X-Men classical, because you're looking at a transition point between... I can't look at the live stream when I'm talking. I'm gonna get distracted.
I got it covered.
Okay. Well, I want to also be in frame, though.
I can't read it and be
Can't
over
you, like,
here.
turn it to the side?
No, because then it does that, and then people can't see me.
Oh. Well, that sucks.
Which is
1 second.
important.
Okay, here we go.
There you go.
Yeah, so X-Men 201 is a really important comic book, and the continuity...
I knew what Jungle Juice was. What the fuck?
No, I didn't know what Jungle Juice was.
Brent doesn't know what Jungle Juice is. I know what Jungle Juice is.
Whiskey.
You make it in a bathtub. I just don't know what all's in it.
I drink whiskey, vodka, sometimes rum, and beer.
Rum is good.
Rum is good. Kraken rum is really good. Yeah. What?
Rum is good.
Rum is good. You better start believing in comic book podcasts, Missy. You're in one.
Also, by the way, can I make a side conversation real quick? Have you seen Pirates 5?
No.
Have you guys seen Pirates 5? If you haven't,
don't say a word. God, I hate spoilers. They're the worst. Please.
I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm just gonna say, if you haven't seen it, don't pay money to see it. It was shitty.
Really?
And I've been a huge fan of Pirates of the Caribbean since the first one. It was my first fandom. Johnny Depp was one of my first like big heroes that I looked up to as a kid, and it was really bad. I am pretty sure that Gore was not involved with directing this or whatever it is that he does.
Yeah.
Because his style is very much focused on the small details within a story that make it better. This was much more of a big picture with not a lot of small details to connect the dots.
Yeah.
Like, the whole premise for why the villain is the way the villain is because it's a curse. That's it. It's just a curse.
That's the first one.
That's it. There's no,
That's just the first movie.
there's no specific details on how it happened, why it happened, nothing. Just, it's a curse. That's it. That's the whole thing. Things that happen in it aren't really well explained.
I'm so tired of the things I like getting ruined by bad writers.
There's a character thing that happens at the end that happens for no reason.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of character development. There's some funny moments. There's some great CGI. It looks good. But the story is very bad. And very not well explained. So if you haven't paid money to see it yet, please don't.
I mean, I really only see maybe one movie a year, and I've already kind of seen my movie for this year. I saw it with this one. It was Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I'm going to give that a 10 out of 10.
It was amazing. If you guys haven't seen it, I highly recommend it.
It's better than the first one, which is rare for a sequel.
It is. We will be reading Guardians.
And speaking of comic book movies, we're going to segue back into comic books. I'm going to explain the context of X-Men 201. So, this is after Jean Grey has died. The Phoenix Force killed Jean Grey. I'm going to get a little closer to the mic. I'm going to edit that out for the full podcast. Funky Punky Podcast on YouTube.com. There's the plug.
Yeah, if you guys don't know our channel, there's also a link in my bio to it. But yeah, it's Funky Punky Podcast.
It's good. It's bad audio,
This will be our 4th video.
Yeah, this will be our 4th
the audio's
episode.
getting better. We're making improvements every time we do a video, so.
Yeah. But in 201, what has happened is the X-Men disappeared completely from the main 601 Marvel universe. And they had gone away basically into space, is what I believe happened. Don't quote me on that one. However, Charles Xavier is no longer involved in the picture. He's billions of galaxies, light years away, and Magneto has been reformed. He's in charge of the X-Men now. Jean Grey is dead.
Okay, so we went from...
Jean Grey is dead.
No!
God, I need to finish. Jean Grey is dead, and Scott Summers, Cyclops, has basically gotten married to somebody else. And the kid, they just had their baby with Madeline and Scott Summers. They just had a baby. That baby grows up to Cable.
They had a baby, but Scott wasn't there for it.
Because he was in another dimension.
But the whole thing was she'd moved to that place, given up uprooted her whole life, so that she could make sure that they were together when she had the baby.
Yeah.
And he was off doing something else and wasn't there.
Voice.
She, if I remember correctly, she had to have a baby on the floor.
Yeah, she had to have a baby on the floor.
Like, she didn't even know she was in labor until she was almost done having a baby.
Well, it was more like she didn't have time to get there. And
Before it started.
Cyclops has always been kind of an asshole.
But this was definitely, like, the climax of being an asshole.
Well, that's because
this is
one
the
of the reasons I
culminating
wanted to read
point.
this comic book is because... So, Cyclops is always kind of like... Scott Summers has kind of always been an asshole, and this is kind of the perfect example of him being said asshole. So, this kind of sets up for when Storm is in charge of the X-Men. Storm is running the show. Scott Summers is out of the picture, and soon enough, what's going to happen is Cable's going to get sent in the future, and he's going to have to basically stop, or help stop, Days of Future Past. That's where Cable gets important, is Days of Future Past, and I believe 1979. It's one of the most important stories in all of Marvel. It's one of the most important stories in all of comic books.
Did you see the movie?
I didn't see the movie, no. I was so afraid to see the movie.
It was a movie.
Huh. Well, cool.
You're not wrong.
Well, whatever. It's
not
fine.
saying that you're right, but you're not wrong.
Yeah, I don't care. It's not that serious to me. Yeah, Logan.
I'm not as big into the Marvel universe as Brent is.
No. Okay, so Old Man Logan and dead Scott Summers are gay and dead now, and they're old, and sure, it's canon. Who cares? They can do whatever they want. No.
Oh.
No, I'm making this up, because Izzy in the Wolf cosplay is making it up as well. That's fine.
I love Izzy, though. You're great. I love you, hon.
Izzy, you're getting a shout-out on the podcast now, because I mentioned your name.
Izzy takes his dog to all of his cons. His name is Snow, and it's the most adorable dog on the planet. It's a service dog.
That's cool.
He's a husky timberwolf.
Izzy, what is your dog's mix?
I can't remember. It's Alaskan something timberwolf German Shepherd thing.
Hey, we got 8 followers now. Or 8 viewers. That's cool. Hi, new people.
But Snow is pure white and the most precious dog I have ever seen.
Yeah. That is adorable.
He chases lasers.
That's awesome. I have a cat.
It's really cute.
I'm going to get more booze. Tell them what you thought about Duel now that I've explained the context.
I still thought it was incredibly confusing and extremely hard to read. Like, Brent literally had to read
the last 4 pages to you.
Brent literally had to read the last 4 pages to me because I was so fucking bored with this comic. It was so hard to focus. The story isn't great. It's
important, though.
It's not a good starting place. Like, as much as it would seem like a good starting place, it's not as far as being well written goes. At all. I did enjoy it. Storm looks hella fine, as always, with her mohawk.
Woo!
Gotta love my bitch, she's fine. But anyway, other than that, I really did not enjoy this comic at all. I didn't like the story. I don't like the art. It's older. It's not well done.
Let's go into that. Let's get in, because that's one of the things I wanted to talk about, is you not liking older art. Because I love older art.
It's an aesthetic, like, comics and stories are very much as an aesthetic thing as they are a contextual thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's gay. Hell yeah!
Yes. For me, if I don't enjoy looking at something, it's hard for me to look at it. Like, if I don't enjoy looking at the comic book art, it's very hard for me to get into the story of the art because I can't, like, lose myself in it.
Yeah.
So for me, aesthetics are as much important for me as a good storyline. So I had a very hard time getting into this comic because the art is outdated for me.
I wouldn't have had a hard time getting into Storm, you know what I'm saying?
I do! Okay, so Snow is quarter husky, quarter shepherd, and
half
half
Timberwolf. That's super adorable. Wolf husky hybrids are the cutest. Yeah.
I'll show you Snow when we get done with the podcast.
Okay, yeah, I want to see Snow.
Or when this recording ends, one of the two.
Well, I'll just look at Izzy in the wolf cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You should follow Izzy anyway, he's great.
Meh.
He's great.
Big
He's also
life,
a great
bro.
cook. He's also a great cook.
He's a good cook? I'm a good cook.
Ross prefers older art, too.
RRR?
Older art.
Yeah!
Too.
Roz, you want to start a comic book podcast?
Do you want to be a special guest on our podcast, Ross?
Do you want to be a special guest on our podcast, Roz?
That's what I just said.
I know, I was repeating you.
I saw Yuri on Ice.
I didn't. I don't like gay stuff. I'm a
He doesn't-
prejudiced.
He's not... Well, you are big into anime sometimes.
I
but
am big into anime. I just didn't see Yuri on Ice.
He hasn't seen Yuri on
I saw
Ice.
the first episode. I didn't think it was that special. It was okay. Whatever.
I was forced
Nice
to
art.
watch the entire thing, so...
Okay, Roz is going to be a special guest on our
Woo!
podcast.
What are we gonna read?
Well, we'll discuss that with Roz. Because if she's a special guest, she should get to choose the comic book.
That's true, Roz. Think of a comic book, and we'll talk about it later. Anyway, have we finished talking about... Oh, wait, we didn't talk about the shorts guy!
Yeah!
Okay, so there's this dude in... Hold on, can we pause that?
Yeah, we can totally pause that. We hit the pause.
These are the shorts I'm talking about, so just take them in.
They're great.
Take them in, look how
They're
fucking
fantastic.
short they are.
Men everywhere. You need to wear short shorts. They're the best. They're masculine. Girls get to see your thighs. Girls, you should see boy thighs, just like boys need to see girl thighs. Thighs are great. They're better than ass. They're better than titties. When I get fit, when I'm hashtag not fat anymore, I'm going to wear the shortest short shorts ever. There's going to be like a half inch, not a quarter inch covering my balls. Maybe my balls will slip out. You never know. Crazy things could happen while you're fucking stretching and flexing, dog. I can't wait. I'm gonna wear short shorts in the winter. I'm gonna wear short shorts in the summer. I love short shorts. I want nothing more than wear short shorts. My dad has like 16 short shorts. That's goddamn right. Chicken thighs. Yeah. Yeah. We will do a photo shoot because I'm gonna cosplay as Thunderstrike, baby.
For those of you that are listening that can't see, I'm assuming Brent's gonna make that the thumbnail for this video, but if he's not, they literally, like, you know how girl shorts fit today?
Oh,
the
it's
really
gonna be the
high-waisted
thumbnail.
short shorts?
Yep.
That's what he's wearing.
It's gonna be like a million short shorts stacked on top of other short shorts.
Like,
Yes,
I don't know where his
hashtag
balls
short
went. Like, they
shorts.
have to retract it into his body to put those shorts on.
Yeah, man, you gotta retract.
There's
them
no
short-
bulge!
That's fine. He doesn't need a bulge.
He has no manhood!
No, he just has a small dick. It's fine.
Where is his bulge?
Yoro-chan, I told you to leave, okay? I gave you fair warning. You have no right to complain.
It's not suitable for work. Well, it's not my fault you're at work.
That sucks.
Go back to your job.
It sucks you have to work. Turn down the volume. It'll be fine. Don't go back to work. Work is for weaklings. Milk that fucking clock, dog.
Also, Iggy said that your head fur is beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you, Izzy. That's very sweet.
Okay, so now, can we talk about how much of a Sass Queen Nightcrawler is?
Hell
'Cause he's
yeah,
only
we can
in
talk
there-
about the Sass Queen
He's
Nightcrawler.
only in there for like 3 pages, but he is such a
Nightcrawler's
Sass
great.
Queen. I love him. Like, I've always loved him because 1, he's German, and I like German. 2, he's fucking blue.
I'm German.
Hello. Second of
Germans
all...
are great. Germans are the
Yeah, so
superior
are your
race.
friends.
Don't read too far deep into that.
Third of all, he's such a Sass Queen!
Yeah, he is a Sass Queen.
Not to mention a tickle monster, which is just adorable, honestly.
Hey, Roz, that's gonna be your reward on Patreon once we get it set up.
We figured we'd get good at it first, and then we'll make you guys pay for it.
Yeah. Well, what we were actually thinking is we live stream, and then if you want to watch the recorded live stream again, which we're doing with a separate camera,
We'll make it a Patreon reward.
we'll make it a Patreon reward that you can go in and see the live stream again if you want to. But actual live streams will
Have a good
remain
swim,
free
hon.
mostly.
Have a good swim, baby. Love you.
Physical exercise. It's good for you.
He's going to swim.
Have fun. No, not for the actual live
No,
streams.
you want to pay for the actual live streams, just for the recorded live streams. So, like, if you happen to miss it, or you want to watch it again, we're going to record the live streams and put them on a Patreon as the reward. so that you guys can watch them over and over
We love
again.
you, Euro. It's fine. I don't take offense at anything.
I do love you, Euro. You know this.
It's fine.
Euro is a savage.
Meh.
Euro said that you can't eat right.
That I can't eat right?
No, we have this photo with me and Roz eating pizza as Prompto and Noctis from our con.
Yeah.
And Euro commented I think it was Euro, was like, why the fuck is he eating pizza with a fork? And I was like, I don't know, he's weird.
That is weird.
And
That's wrong.
Roz, it's like, I'm a prince. I wasn't raised in a barn. And Euro is like, well, at least people that were raised in barns know how to eat.
No, they don't. They
know how to
eat hay.
eat pizza.
We
We know how to eat pizza, though. With
ate,
our hands!
I ate a whole pizza today, and I want to kill myself.
He really did.
It's really gross, and I hated it, and...
He loved every second.
I want to get greasy on my leather.
Get greasy on that leather, honey!
Get greasy on that leather!
Oh.
Get greasy on that leather! I have to cut all this out of the final podcast. We have to start talking about the... Okay, 30 minutes of
I
comic
was
book.
trying to talk about Nightcrawler!
Okay, let's talk about Nightcrawler.
I just want to talk about his sass.
He's so sassy.
He's such a sassy piece of shit. I love him. Look at that motherfucker. He's not on the screen, but like I can still see him.
It's fine. We can see him in our mind's eye. Euro,
He's
don't
such
kill
a
yourself. I
sassy
need you to view this shit.
motherfucker.
Euro, don't kill yourself. I need your sweet, sweet views, dog.
Also, a weird thing that happened in this comic for me, as a person who's never read a X-Men comic, seeing Professor X have a girlfriend and being kissed was the weirdest thing I have seen this entire comic. Like, weirder than that guy's shorts. It was really weird.
Professor X gets pussy like a monster.
He gets that puss like none other.
He gets that alien pussy.
He does.
That sweet alien pussy.
Does. And it's so
alien
weird.
Pussy.
It's so weird. We gotta make a blooper reel.
That's a lot of editing, Roz.
But it's funny.
Alien pussy.
And we have a lot, especially when we drink. Which we do at every single
We do drink a lot when we record this podcast. Meh. There's a lot weirder stuff on the internet.
No,
Anyways,
it's weirder.
Yeah, I've seen a lot weirder
Like,
stuff on
think
the
of
internet.
someone that you've seen your entire life be completely, like, not having a romantic interest, not having anyone flirt with them, nothing. Suddenly making out with some chick out of nowhere after 21 years of life.
Yep.
It was weird and eye-opening and just
And she's
wrong.
an alien with weird hair.
She is.
It's pretty great, actually. I like it a lot.
She's
I think
weird.
it does a lot to humanize the character of Professor Xavier.
It does, but at the same time, like, I don't know, for me it was just so weird. Like, this comic was so weird.
That's because you've never been exposed to
I
X-Men
haven't.
comics.
So, like, I came in, they were having a baby, and then they had a baby, and then some drama happened with Scott, typical. And then Professor X was having fucking a makeout session with this weird alien chick.
It was hot.
It was weird.
It was super hot.
It was weird. It was weird. I feel like 80% of this podcast is just you laughing.
It is. I think it's funny. I like to laugh. Laughing is good for you. It makes you happier as a person.
Makes you live longer.
No, that's a bad side of it. I like to be happy, but I don't want to live very long.
Me either.
Typical Scott.
Okay, so,
Brent, please. What? Please what? Please what? What do you want me to do, Junepa?
What do you need?
What do you want?
What do you want? What do you need?
Weird alien porn. What the hell did I miss? Live streaming is fun.
It's great, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brent, please.
And we talked about everything we wanted to talk
Stop
about.
the hand motions.
Pretty
You
much.
guys are great. This is the whole podcast.
Pretty much.
It's only now that we're getting better audio so that you can listen to the screaming over and over again on the podcast at Funky Punky Podcast YouTube channel. Just type in Funky Punky Podcast in the search bar.
Have we talked about everything we wanted to talk about this comic?
Nope. I want to talk about the duel.
Talk about the duel.
So, Scott Summers and I just drank a lot more. Storm. Storm, whatever. They have to fight. Because Scott Summers, he's gonna lead the X-Men.
Okay, so the whole premise is Magneto is supposed to lead the school now. He's a good person, he's been converted, whatever. And Professor X has left him in charge. And Scott is really terrified. Because, well, what if he's not a good person? What if he's just pretending? What if he's going to betray us again? What if he's going to kill everyone? What if he's still a bad guy? I have to leave the school. So, him and Storm are at this disagreement where his human wife wants him to just be with them.
He wants her to be a father. He wants him to be a father.
She wants him to care enough to give up as much as she has to be with her. Yep. And he would rather lead the school. And Storm is stepping in to basically, the way I saw it, was to basically...
And this is after Storm has temporarily lost her powers. So she has no powers, but she's still an X-Men because Storm is a strong, powerful leader woman.
So basically, the way that I saw it was Storm was stepping in to not only fill a role that needed to be filled without causing conflict, by trying to solve all the problems at the same time, while still finding a good leader for the school. Because she is a strong, independent female. She's a good leader. She's been with the team a long time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And her being leader of the team is going to keep her from anything.
And
while Scott being leader would keep him from being a father.
Well, Wolverine says it perfectly in this comic where he says his brain's in it, but his heart isn't. Wolverine has a tenacity about getting to the heart of the issue with a few words, and that's why he's great.
He's a beautiful man.
He's a great guy.
He has a very good way with words.
Yeah, Wolverine's great. I love Wolverine. We're gonna.
I wonder if you can hear the clicking of my tongue piercing now that we have a new mic.
Maybe. Well.
Yep, you can hear it.
I'm not editing that out. But, so Storm and Scott fight, and the resolve of the duel, I think, is very, 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 very interesting, because Storm doesn't punch Scott into submission. She doesn't kick the crap out of him.
She tricks him.
She basically takes off his eyeglasses and say, hey, buddy, you're not going to unleash your eye beams, because if you did, without your visor, without your ruby...
Oh, God!
Sexy. Listen, blame Roz for this hand motion. Blame Roz. Yeah. You would technically be getting boned by Wolverine, actually, because he has adamantium bones. But so you wouldn't be getting fingered; you'd be getting boned. Yeah.
I mean,
there's your fucking pun, people.
Actually,
I'm a goddamn genius.
I mean, actually, being fingered by him would just be his fingers because his claws are retractable. They're not out all the time. It would be like this.
Rob is real. Roz's name is now Rob. You fucked up, Euro-chan. It's recorded in the podcast. Euro-chan typed in Rob instead of Roz.
It's immortalized forever. Roz is now Rob.
Read the chat, Jupetta. It's important to the context.
Just catch up.
You gotta read it all.
If you clicked out of the video,
read all the comic books.
If you clicked out of the video, I'm sorry, you're fucked. There's no explaining it. I can't tell you how we got here. We just did. It happened.
Yeah, do that. Anyways, so Magneto is the leader of the X-Men now. Yeah.
Sorry.
What? That's fine.
Oh,
cool. So, Magneto's like, okay, you guys can have the room. They fight, and Storm beats Scott Summers, even though she doesn't have superpowers.
She doesn't, beat him with her fists, though. She's smart.
Yeah, she uses his power against him.
She does, and it's excellent.
Yep.
Because it's what a leader should be. A leader just doesn't need their
Scott
fists.
Summers walks away from it. He's like, I guess I can't be the leader of the X-Men again. And this is great characterization for Scott Summers, because he leaves the X-Men when he can't be the leader. Yeah. That is so endemic of who he is as a character. He's a prideful asshole.
Yeah, it's all or nothing for him. If he can't be everything, he's gonna be nothing.
And that's why he's a piece of shit.
And he was a sulky motherfucker after it happened, too. Like, his wife is just like, I don't want you to be here anymore. You don't get to raise our child. Just leave.
Well, no. His wife, they raise their kid, but his kid gets transported into the future. He becomes Cable in the future. He then has to go back in the past to stop the future that's bad from happening. Because Mystique kills a senator. You can read all about it in Days of Future Past. I'm sure we'll cover Days of Future Past. I'm sure we'll cover Days of Future Past. It's a great comic book. It's a whole legacy. It's important to the mythos of comic books. It broke new ground. Blah, blah, blah. All those taglines that people throw at the good comic books. They're just good. But yeah, it's a really important comic book because you see the birth of Cable. You see Scott Summers kind of have to dealing with the fact that he's a bitch. You see Storm becoming the leader
He's
of the X-Men.
such a bitch baby, it's not even funny.
He really is.
He really is. Like, it's just gross.
Wolverine and Scott Summers really grow closer later on in the 90s during a special run they had together. They become, like, best friends, and Wolverine becomes, like, a super, like, mellowed out dude, and he understands that, like, okay, I have to be responsible for my actions, and Scott Summers like, okay, I gotta take this stick out of my ass, but then they have, like, this philosophical, like, conflict, and it's amazing. It's a great comic book run. The problem is like, 40 issues. It's too much for our podcast. Maybe we'll do a long run or a bonus episode on it, something like that.
Okay, wait. Did Scotty and Kitty Pryde ever have a thing together, or I just make that up?
I don't know. I don't think so, though.
I don't know enough about
Kitty
to say,
Pryde is a little young for Scott.
Yeah.
She's a teenager. She has a thing with Wolverine. She, like, falls in love with Wolverine during Death of Wolverine.
But, like, even that was weird.
No. Wolverine rejects her. He's like, hey, gal, I'm your fucking uncle, basically. Like, and then it turns out to be Lady Deathstrike, and it's a whole thing.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. But Death of Wolverine's a good run. We'll do it eventually once we get more Wolverine underneath our belts.
He wanted to do Death of Wolverine for this podcast. But if I'm going to do Death of Wolverine, I want context.
Yeah.
Because I've never read any of the X-Men comics before, so.
X-Men comics are really weird in the context of the Marvel Universe because you have all these superpowered characters that are X-Men, right? But they're, like, and they're supposed to be, like, there's supposed to be a ton of prejudice against them, right? But then you have people like the Hulk and Iron Man and Thor running around who also have superpowers, who are also superhuman, and nobody cares. It's hard to, like, figure out what the hell is going on.
Are you talking about X-Men Evolution, the movie?
Yeah, that's a movie.
Because you can't relate movies to comic books. They're always going to be different.
It's a completely different medium. Don't try to relate them. Don't try to connect them.
Because
the
most people that write comic book
similar,
movies read the comics and take inspiration from them and create new art.
Yeah, which is good.
9 times out of 10 never see a comic book movie that is basically just the comic book.
Yeah, the show, the movie.
Because it would be the same thing, and while that's what you want as a comic book fan...
Wait, Euro, are you talking about the 1990s show? Euro, are you talking about the 1990 show? Because the 1990 show is fucking fantastic. It's a 10 out of 10. I love it. I used to watch it when I was a kid. Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. The point is that Scott Summer is married to Madeline in Uncanny Episode 201. Yeah! Woo! Right? The 90s is great. I love the 90s. 90s culture is the best culture. It's the worst culture. 10 out of 10, 0 out of 10. No score matters.
Okay, so are we done talking about the comic book?
Yeah, okay, let's talk about the convention.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this comic book, Brent?
I'm going to give it a solid 7 out of 10 because of the context of what it's talking about.
I would give it a 4 because I found it hard to read.
Yeah, that's
As a person who focuses on aesthetics and storyline, for me, without having any context for the background of the storyline, it was very hard to read. It was hard to focus on for me. It wasn't very interesting. The way that the characters talk is very hard to understand for me, especially like Colossus, I think. It's Colossus, right?
Cool.
But he talks funny.
Yeah, he's Russian.
And if you're not used to like reading it, it's really weird.
Of course he talks funny, he's Russian.
But yeah, just coming in from the story from like a blind perspective, I didn't enjoy it. It was hard to read. I didn't like it. Like I said, I had to have Brent read me the last, 4 or 5 pages because I just could not focus on it enough to read it. It was boring.
You know what else is boring, everybody? Not talking about conventions. That's a great segue. So let's talk about Camille and Roz's and all the other people who went to the convention.
Let's talk about
Feel
Animazement.
free to commute. Say the furries are here. Yeah! Furries, bro! I don't mean that.
Also, Roz, Brent's a brony, so you guys will get along great.
Meh, I like My Little Pony. I want to classify myself as a brony.
Well, Roz also likes My Little Pony.
First 5 seasons, 10 out of 10. It's good.
Anyway,
good show.
Animazement.
You're cooler now.
As you guys know, if you regularly watch our podcast or if you follow me on Instagram already, I had a convention last weekend, so I wasn't able to record for our podcast because I...
Vape life, dog. Vape Nation, dog. Hell yeah. You vape them vapes. You don't smoke cigarettes, because I used to smoke cigarettes, and they're cool. They make you cooler, but vaping is healthy. Smoke cigarettes.
Anyway, Animazement. For you guys that know, for you guys that regularly follow me on Instagram or follow our podcast, as you know, I was not here last weekend because I was at Animazement in Raleigh, and Brent wanted me to talk about my experience.
Yeah, I want to hear about it. I haven't had a chance to really hear
It was
about your
good.
experience.
I had a couple of little emotional things that happened with the group, but other than that, it was awesome.
Wait, whoa. Let's get into the drama.
No.
I want to get it. No. This
really.
is
No.
good for the views. Come on.
No.
Why?
Because it's a private thing and I don't feel like it's my right to talk about it.
Okay.
All that they need to know is that we had an issue with a friend that we were concerned with, and it took away from our fun because we were concerned about our friend.
Okay.
That's it. That's all you guys need to know.